Hi, Tracy. First one in. Starting to see a few people pop up on here now. So, hi, Emma. Hi, Tina. Hi, Doug. Starting to get a few people popping on now. How are you doing, everyone? Hi, VNA. Hi, Dougie. Hi, Bite. Yeah, right there. It'll pop up in a second here, as it always does. See, just a little attention whore here, right? That's what it is, right? Yeah, it's not too bad here weather-wise. What's it in? I don't know. Let me see. Hang on a second. 67 degrees. It's not too bad out here. Yeah, I don't know. We're waiting on a storm. There's supposed to be a nice storm blowing in tomorrow. It's like 60% chance of rain tomorrow, and supposed to be rainy all the way through Thursday, and then we get a couple days off, and then it rains again next week. So, they told me that when we start moving into spring, we're going to start getting into more of the rainy weather here. So I'm actually looking forward to that. It's cold in Minnesota in February. Gee, wouldn't have seen that coming. Yeah, I've been in Minnesota like in January, February. It's a it is a little on the chilly side. It's snowing in Asheville, huh? Okay, that's yeah, we got a little snow here a couple days ago, which really kind of blew me away. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, same here, VA. It kind of it snowed a little bit in the evening, and actually the snow lasted a little bit into the morning. It was actually more snow than I thought because when I was out like looking at it at like 10 o'clock, I could see the snow blowing around, but it didn't really seem like there was going to be enough to actually accumulate it. It was hitting the ground and melting. But when I got up the next morning, there was actually snow on the ground, so that was fun. Hi, Jeff. Hey, you made it in the beginning this time. I think you were got in like in the last couple minutes last time. That's cool. Some of you are going to hear some like banging and clanging in the background. You remember a couple months ago when I went back to California for Thanksgiving? I came home and that shed in the back there had caught on fire. Yeah. Well, my mom here. I'll have to catch up on that later. Anyway, yeah, that shed caught on fire. Well, it damaged like the carport there, and they finally decided to tear that down and repair that. So they've been doing that for the past couple of days. So you may hear that banging and clanging around there. Yeah, it's about that here now, Jeff. It's in the upper 60s. 36 in Kentucky right now. Wow, that's cold. Yeah, 74. That's pretty nice. Upper 60s. It's a good day. I'd still go out and in short pants in the 60s. So how are my parents doing? Well, my father's, as you know, he went into the hospital recently. They discharged him. They put him into a rehab facility, and um, apparently he's kind of on a little downward slope right now. He still fights a little bit taking his medication. I think that's part of the problem we're running into. Um, so what ends up happening is he kind of gets lethargic when he doesn't take his medicine because like the ammonia levels build up, and when that happens, he just gets out of it. So you know, we were hoping that the problem was just him not taking his medication, and therefore him being in the hospital or being in a rehab facility would um, kind of keep that under control because then somebody else would be monitoring his medication. But apparently he's fighting it. So, we're going to just have to be a little tougher on stuff like that. Oh, that's great news, Jeff. His cancer scans all look good. Yeah, I'm not making suggestions to the doctor. The doctor knows what's going on, and it isn't blood oxygen levels. It's ammonia in the blood because of his liver issue, and the doctor's monitoring this stuff. Yeah, that's good that everything's going well, Jeff. Yeah, we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. But it sounds like it's been a lot of good news lately. So just you know, keep the positive thoughts because that's really what a lot of it's about. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Yeah, my dad does too. My mom was down talking to him yesterday and the day before, and she said he was just really out of it. And they talked to the doctors and nurses, and there's one thing specific that he's supposed to take that's supposed to kind of keep the stools going, and he doesn't like it because he ends up having a lot of diarrhea because of it, and it's very miserable as a result, and so he won't take it. And the doctor said that if he has a couple of stools a day that he's good. Well, once he's had a couple of stools, he refuses to take more of the medication, and it just kind of goes downhill. So we're just going to have to be more of a more anal on that, pardon the expression, to make sure that he stays on top of that. And we're going to have to tell the doctors and nurses at the rehab facility that even if he refuses, they got to make him take it, because that seems to be the thing. When he doesn't take that, then he ends up getting just being out of it. So I don't know. We're going to see what happens. My mom's still planning on moving into her apartment the next week or so, and we'll go from there. I think we're going to have to get the people at the apartment to maybe take a real active role in making sure that my dad is taking his medicine all the time here. It was Emma said, "How's Bite and Nibble doing?" I thought, is Bite behind me? He was behind me a minute ago, but yeah, I don't know where he is right now. He might be behind the couch. He'll pop in a minute, I'm sure. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Especially when I shake the kitty treats, that usually gets him down. Yep, there he is. So he was just kind of hanging out on the stairs. House isn't moved. They haven't moved out of the house yet because they've got a moving company coming in the next week to help them move the stuff that they need to get ready for the apartment. And then that's when things are going to really start moving. And then at some point, I have to pop in and pick the things I want to have and take home. Take with me. And then they're going to put the rest of it into a estate sale. Going to sell the house and all that stuff. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. That's really nice. You didn't miss this one. You got in here right at the beginning, so I'm glad you were able to do it. And of course, like I said, you shake the kitty treats, and guess who comes down? Yeah. What he does is when he's playing shy, he'll go like and hang out on the stairs behind me there. And so I'm sure what he was doing is just sitting on the first or second step there. And the second he heard the kitty treats, he was down. Yeah, got to make his grand entrance. You got anything to say to him, huh? No? Nothing to say? Yeah, maybe he'll get back to you later. Maybe I can bribe him out with some kitty treats. Okay, that's it for now, though. If we fill you up, you'll go back upstairs and take a nap, and we won't see you for the rest of the live stream, right? Oh, thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's my Jack Skellington shirt. Oh, smoked meatloaf. That sounds good. Yeah, you'll have to send me that recipe. Well, we just started, Vicky. So go home, go do your grocery shopping, come back. We'll probably be on. We're only 10 minutes into this, and I'm usually on for a couple hours. So we'll definitely be back, or we'll still be here when you get back. Yeah, Jack Skellington's pretty cool. This is one of those shirts I got from Disney. I think this is something you can only get through Disney. My laptop always wants to go into virus scan mode when it doesn't see me doing anything because it doesn't realize, wait, I'm live streaming. I'm going live to the world right now here. Not a good time to be chewing up a bunch of clock cycles doing a virus scan. Oh yeah, yeah. Bite will be in and out, won't you? As long as the kitty treats you keep coming, you'll be in and out. I think he just likes seeing himself on camera, right? Right, Bite. That's what it's really all about. You looking the bear's foot? Is that what you're doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you looking the bear's foot? Huh? Yeah. What's all you ever have to say about anything? Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's great. My parents are still planning on moving in the next couple of weeks. In fact, if you were here a few minutes ago, you heard my phone go off. My mom called me. She'll have to wait until after the live stream here for me to get back to her. But what's been going on? My father is kind of on a low point right now. He kind of has his ups and downs, and it seems to be related to him not taking his medicine. One of his medicines that he takes upsets his stomach a lot. And unfortunately, that's the one that's really critical for keeping his ammonia levels in his blood under control. And if he's not taking that, then the ammonia levels go up and he becomes really incoherent out of it. And so we're still kind of dealing with that. He kind of fights taking that medicine because it's a little bit unpleasant for him when he has to take it. And and then once they do move, though, Flash is going to probably stay with my parents' house for a little while. But my friend Beth, who you've seen on a couple of my videos, she's agreed to tortoise sit for Flash until I'm ready to bring her here to Texas with me. So Beth has a bit of a yard, and Flash will be very happy there. So she'll be there. She'll be taken good care of. Flash is a real great pet to have because she's just kind of an autopilot pet. You don't have to do anything for her except just keep her in the yard, and that's pretty easy to do. She'll just graze on the grass. She'll eat whatever's in the yard and find some corner to sleep at night. So she's pretty good, easy pet to take care of. We just got to make sure Beth knows that she's got to keep that gate closed all the time because I've made the mistake of not doing that a couple times and had Flash get out of the yard on me. One time she got out of the yard and I was out working in the garage a little bit and I all of a sudden heard a car stop in front of my house. It's like, oh, there's like a tortoise in the middle of the street. And it's like, yeah, that was Flash. She got out. And then another time she actually got out of the yard when I wasn't aware of it. And I didn't even realize she was gone until one of my neighbors put like a sign up all over the community saying that they had found a tortoise. And that was her. You know, she got out of the yard, went all the way down to the end of the block, turned right, went to the end of a cul-de-sac, and just kind of parked in a corner there. And the neighbor that lived right there found her and took her in for a couple of days. And it was really kind of a strange coincidence too, because they had a tortoise too. So Flash had a little friend to hang out with for a while. Yeah, Flash loves strawberries. In fact, that was one of the funny things when Flash did get out and go out and visit that neighbor and stay there for a few days. That neighbor had a little girl who was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, and she loved Flash, and would constantly be feeding her strawberries. And Flash loves strawberries, and it was funny because when I got Flash back, her face was all stained red from all the strawberries she'd eaten. So that was funny. You fed giraffes carrots today. Oh, that's cool. Flash loves carrots too. Flash will eat just about anything veggie wise. Fruits and vegetables. She likes, apples, basically any kind of fruit as long as it isn't like citrus. So she won't like eat oranges or lemons or limes or anything like that. But watermelon, cantaloupe, grapes, just about any kind of veggie. She loves that. Yeah, I had to get a picture of her sometime when her face is stained red. But when get her out here, then you'll be able to see her a lot more frequently because when she's here, I can do it. I can only the only time I get to see her these days is when I go to California, and that doesn't even work out right now because she's hibernating and probably will be for the next month or so until it starts warming up. Flash is a good pet though. I like having her around. You wouldn't think about that, something that doesn't even recognize me, but I don't know, I've had her for probably 30 years, and like I said, I don't think she recognizes me, but I don't know if it's because there just isn't the mental capacity up there to process that, or if maybe she just doesn't have really good eyesight. You remember in the movie Jurassic Park, they kept saying the T-Rex can't see you unless you move. I think Flash is kind of the same way because I can be sitting there on the lawn right next to her and she'll walk right up to me, but the second I move, she panics and pulls into her shell. So I think mainly what's going on is she just has really poor vision, and I don't know if that's genetic for tortoises or just because she's old, but she doesn't see very well. So and probably doesn't have to because she's got the ultimate protection because if something goes wrong, all she does is pull into her shell, and then she's pretty well protected. Yeah, Flash is a great pet. I like having her a lot. Yeah, I've had her. Like I said, I've had a Flash for 30 years, and I think she was pretty old when I got her. I believe she's older than me. I think she's 60 or 65 years old. Look at him. He's back again, aren't you? Huh? I had to mix it up a little bit with drinks today. I didn't have enough water, so I'm back to my old favorite grapefruit juice. Oh yeah. I don't know how old her specific species will get, but you see some of those big giant Galapagos tortoises that are like, the size of a VW bug. Those can get to be a couple hundred years old. Some of those are 200, 300 years old. So, it doesn't surprise me that Flash may very well outlive me. Yeah, it's amazing how cats respond to the sound of the kitty treats. They know the kitty treats when they hear them, don't you? Yes, you do. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what species Flash is. I had a friend, or I still have a friend, but who identified her species, and he called it like a fruit tortoise or something like that. We were concerned because the California desert tortoise is endangered, and it's illegal to keep them as pets. So we wanted to make sure that that wasn't the case because I don't want to be breaking the law. But she's a pretty common species. It was kind of a funny story how we got her because that was back when I was a kid and living at home at my parents' house. And one day I was, I guess, it was one of these days I was waiting to go to work one day, and my mom was getting up and getting ready and going to work herself. And when she got into the car and was getting ready to drive away, she came back in and said, "Hey, there's a tortoise in the front yard." And yeah, that was Flash. She escaped from somebody else, and we put up signs looking for her owner, but nobody claimed her. So I've had her ever since. Yeah, I don't know. I probably could do a DNA test on her, kind of like what Jordan did on with Jaw. That was interesting, and I mean, obviously, it's very reliable because they pretty much picked out what species Jaw was, or what breed Jaw was. And I don't think anywhere in the information, do they say, what do you think Jaw is? They just say it's a dog, and you go from there. In fact, I don't even think you say it's a dog. It's just assumed it's a dog when you buy the dog kit. And the fact that they picked up on the Chihuahua and the Jack Russell and the miniature Doberman, which I totally see because of the fur, because of his fur. His fur is just like a Doberman's, and the curly tail is definitely the pug, which you saw in there. So yeah, they nailed that as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's possible a local vet or veterinarian, assuming that the vet, deals with like reptiles. A lot of times the vets, are more, dog and cat related, or maybe in more of a rural area, maybe some farm animals and stuff like that. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad you started the fan page. Let me know what the address is, and I'll subscribe to it. Like I said, I've kind of wanted to have something like that done, but I don't really have the time to focus on administering a page like that. So I'm glad somebody did it, and definitely when you know what it is, let me know, and I'll promote it on this page, and maybe we can get some subscribers. That'd be fun to be fun thing to have. Maybe I'll give you some exclusive content for it. Yeah, yeah. J Rose seems to have come up with a Facebook page. I've kind of hinted it over the last couple months that that would be cool to have, but I didn't really have the time to administer it myself. And so I said, if somebody else wanted to do it, I wouldn't oppose that, and I would subscribe to it and all that. So yeah, I'm glad that somebody did that. So yeah, let me know, J Ro, when you got it going, and I'll definitely promote it. I'm hearing what sounds like knocking on my windows for the past few hours, and I look around to see what it is. So yeah, well, it would be interesting to bring her in and find somebody that does know. I like I said, I let a biology teacher friend of mine babysit her for a while, and he identified her, and I don't remember exactly what he called her, but he said she was like a fruit tortoise or something like that. I just know her as Flash. He was also the one that was able to tell me that Flash was a girl. So, of course, the fact that she lays eggs regularly, that probably should have been a clue. That's actually one of the things I kind of want in the yard um, when I finally do get a house is actually some open ground, because one of the things that Flash does, tortoises bury their eggs, so she needs like a place to dig, and there really wasn't a good place to do that in at my house in California. In fact, what she'd do is the only place that she could find to dig to bury her eggs was where the sprinkler heads were, because there was always a little area of dirt around there, and she always ended up tearing up the sprinkler heads when she did that. So yeah, yeah, she lays eggs. She lays Oh, probably half a dozen of them a year. It's usually in the spring, but they're unfertilized eggs, so nothing ever comes of them. That was one of the things we were trying because this friend of mine who's the biology teacher, he had some of his own tortoises, and we were thinking it might be fun to see if we could breed her. But nothing ever came of that. It might have been that he didn't have the right species male or something like that. Yeah, it would be really cool if she had babies. I wouldn't mind that at all. Hi, Matthew. How are you? Welcome to the group. That's great. That's great. So I'm glad so many of you went over and looked at my friend Matt's page. We were really happy how well that did. He I looked at his subscriber count a couple minutes before my video went live, and he had 6 subscribers at the time. And I looked right before I started this, he's up to 191. So that's all because of you. And I know he was really thrilled about that. I know he posted a video where a couple days ago, where he talked extensively about how we met and all that. And he sent me a message this morning expressing his appreciation for that. So, yeah, thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, a lot of you subscribed to his page. That was awesome. He was really, really happy about that. And his views are up, and what we're trying to do now is get him to the point where he can monetize it. And he's got a ways to go for that, but he's a fifth of the way on subscribers, and that's pretty cool. His page is called Island Horizon Videos. If you go into the search engine and type that, that's the name of the page. Um, so yeah, if you go onto the search and just type Island Horizon Videos, you'll find him. And basically, what it is, it's just really calming videos that he shoots of the oceans. He lives on the Big Island of Hawaii, and just he decided recently he's been watching my vlog here and said, I could do something like this, and he said, it'd be really easy just to like make some really calming, soothing, background videos, of the ocean. People love that kind of stuff, and it's really peaceful to watch. And that's what he did. And he's I guess been working on it for a couple months, and he's got you know 60 or 70 videos recorded. He's only got a few of them posted right now, but it's the easiest thing in the world to do. You just go to the beach someplace where it's quiet, you set the camera up, you let it run for a while, and you upload it. It's genius. Maybe Flash will meet a nice Texas tortoise. Yeah, maybe. That'd be really cool. I haven't seen any tortoises around here. Austin, yeah, but I didn't want to move to Austin. Austin is too much of a big city. Um, for me, I've lived in a big city all my life, and I didn't really want to be Austin. Austin. I was there a couple weeks ago when Jordan was here and doing some of his videos in Austin. I went along with him on all those, and um, it's an interesting place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Yeah, well, I lived in California. I know what bad traffic is. Austin isn't as bad, but yeah, it has traffic, and it's just too many people. I like kind of the more laid back environment here in Waco. I consider Dallas and Fort Worth too, but rejected them for the same reason. That's sort of what I'm trying to get away from. Waco just seems to be the perfect place for me because it's got, it's big enough to have everything I need to live, but it's small enough that it still has that kind of, small town vibe to it. I really like the vibe in this place. You still have your Christmas tree up. Okay. I actually just had to take I had a Christmas wreath on the door. I just took that down a couple days ago. And I think mainly the reason I did it is because I had the geeks and the geek squads coming out to look at my computer a few days ago, and I realized the Christmas wreath was covering up the number on the door, so I better take it down, or the geek wouldn't be able to find me. As it turned out, she couldn't find me anyway, and had to call, and I had to go call me up to the front desk and have me walk her back. But that's okay. We got it taken care of. Yeah, well, that Waco really does have a small town feel to it, and that's what I like about it. My parents are in Southern California, so about 1,800 miles away. Who are my favorite Texans? I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to stop and think about that. Jordan was pointing out that there are some famous Texans who are buried here around here, and I ought to visit some of their graves at some point. And we'll probably do it, at some point. But I gotta figure out where all that stuff is. Yeah, well, on your day off, that's a good day to take down the Christmas tree. I guess it depends on whether it's an artificial or a real tree, because artificial tree, at least it's not going to dry out and start dropping leaves on you or dropping needles on you. Become a fire hazard like in Christmas Vacation. I still hear you back there. You can hear the motor running here. Nobody can see you, but I can hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I may do some traveling around Texas. We'll see. It's all going to kind of depend on what the job does and what kind of hours I have there. But we're working on that. Well, Jordan pointed out that Ann B. Davis, who played Alice on the Brady Bunch, she's buried here. Denver Pyle, who was Uncle Jesse on the Dukes of Hazzard, he's buried here. And there's a whole bunch of others that are buried here. So, we'll do some cemetery vlogs and visit them at some point. It would be more interesting if the Columbia debris was still here, but you know, just saying, yeah, this is where it hit the ground. That's I don't know. Thank you, Linda, for subscribing to Matt's channel. Yeah, he'll appreciate that. I saw, like I said, right before I came on here, I looked at his channel and he was up to 191 subscribers. So be very cool if we get him to 200, push him over the limit here. He got about 170, I think, in the first 24 hours after my video went live, and it's been creeping up a few a day since then. So, okay, Tina, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, say hi to your grandson. Weather has been up and down. It was in the 30s just a couple days ago, and now it's warming up a little bit. We're supposed to get some rain tomorrow, and it's kind of a warm storm kind of blowing in off the Gulf. So the temperatures are actually going up. A lot of times you think when it rains, it actually cools down a little bit, but it all depends on which way the rain is coming. If it's coming from the north, then it's cold rain, and that was what gave us our little snow flurries a couple nights ago. But the storm that's supposed to come starting tomorrow is coming up from the south. So, coming in off the Gulf. So all that warm Gulf moisture should warm things up a bit. It's supposed to be like in the 60s and 70s. Mm, love my grapefruit juice. Yeah, well, I felt really like I wanted to help Matt with that. And I told him a while ago that, once he gets some videos going, get some content up, I would get him going. And when he started posting stuff, I said, okay, what I would do, because he told me at the time he has a whole bunch of videos posted, or I mean, created, but not uploaded yet. And I said, he said he had like 60 of them ready. I said, well, you ought to put like 30 of them up just so when people subscribe, they got something to look at. They're not going to be that excited to subscribe when you've only got one video up or two videos up. And he decided, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post one a day for a while and then slow down a little bit. And so I said, okay, well, once you have 10 up, I'll do a video and we'll promote you. And like I said, I was glad I could do that for him because it's important for you to help out your friends on stuff like this. And Jordan was such an important part of getting this vlog going. I felt it was my chance to, you know, play it forward. Yeah, it didn't really do a whole lot. My car was under a carport, and so by the time I got out the next day, anything that had accumulated had melted. I don't know, maybe down where you were, you got a little bit more snow than we did, but I don't think you've seen that video yet, but I posted a video. I think it's the one that goes live today that talks about the snow. And I kind of walked around in here and showed what it looked like because there was a lot more than I expected. Like I said, I was out at 10 o'clock the night before and looking at it coming down. Said, "Oh wow, that's actually snow," but it didn't seem like it was coming down hard enough you know um, to get to the point where it would actually build up and there'd be snow on the ground. But it actually was a little bit. Yeah, Jordan's vlogs are definitely something to aspire to. He's a great guy and a great friend and a great vlogger. That's I've said this before. Even if I'm not interested in the subject, I'll watch his vlogs and because I'll even if I'm not into the subject, I'll get something out of it. I'll learn something, and it's just interesting listening to him. Oh yeah. I wish we could get to the point where 84 Nash had their stuff available because there's so much stuff that's gotten popular just because of Jordan's vlogs, and people are always asking about it. Yeah, that's a good question, J. Ro. Where do you live? You're talking about how you did get any snow. You must be somewhere around here. What kind of music do I'm into? I mean, I like rock and roll. A lot of heavy guitar rock. Um, Not necessarily heavy metal, but spanning through the years. I like, stuff from the 50s or from the 60s, like the Beatles and the Stones and, Janis and Jimi Hendrix and that kind of stuff. 70s, it's more, uh, some of the rock bands, Kiss and Zeppelin and that kind of stuff. 80s, I was kind of into the new wave and the punk movement. So it was, Devo and Dead Kennedys and that kind of stuff. Late 80s and early 90s, it was like, Nirvana and Soundgarden and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, lately I've kind of moved away from music. I don't listen to a lot of music anymore. I kind of do, I think, what a lot of people do. Yeah, Doors is a good one. I like X also. X was a good band in the 80s. Uh, but yeah, I don't really identify with a lot of the music that they play today. It seems boring to me. never got into the hip hop and rap thing. Um, not was never got into country music, and that's kind of weird for me being here in Texas because I hear it all the time now. But you know, as most of you know, I worked at a company that made CDs for a long time, and for a number of years, I was the one that made the master CD, which meant that I had to sit there and listen to every CD we made in headphones just to make sure there weren't any errors or anything going on when the music was playing. And I got to the point where I was actually really good at being able to listen to music without hearing it. So I can tune it out. You know, it'll be going on in the background. If something weird goes on with it distorting or doing anything like that, I'll hear that, but I can just tune it out. And so that comes in very handy when they're playing country music and I'm not into that. Do I like doo woo? I assume you mean doo wah. No, not really. There's a little bit of stuff I like in the 50s, but I really yeah, that's what I thought doo wop. I'm guessing that was probably a spell check or a typo thing. Autocorrect. I am thinking about doing another Bite and Nibbles vlog. I was wondering if I was going to do it today, but I might actually record one tomorrow, just because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and it's a good day to do a Bites and Nibbles vlog when it's raining. Okay, all right. We're not going to go there. Consider that your one warning. Okay. All right, we're not going race, so sorry. We tried. Got to have the troll. Yeah, it isn't a live stream until we've had our first troll. So, yay, we made it. Yeah, I'm not ragging on country music. It's just not my thing. I think it's just growing up in California. It wasn't a big thing there, and I never really got into it. And when I go visit my uncle in Minnesota, he's big time into country music, and it got to the point where it just kind of annoyed me after a while. Now there's some kind of fusions of country and rock that I like, so should have brought a troll figure. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess probably not, just because I got enough trolls around here as it is. Yeah, the reason I didn't, well, first off, the old computer isn't that old. It's nowhere near to the point where I'm ready to replace it. And it's another issue too, and that issue is software. A lot of the software I use for doing vlogs, I've got on CDs somewhere. And if I were to get a new computer, I'm not sure where those CDs are right now. They're in the storage locker somewhere, and I need that stuff too much to be able to deal with it. To have to go and rebuy everything and stuff like that. One of the things I have is like an old version of Photoshop, and I use that a lot. And if I were to go buy it now, I actually considered at one point buying a copy of it for my laptop, and kind of voted against it because one of the things that Photoshop does now, they won't just sell you a license. What they want to do is what a lot of these companies are doing now is they don't want to just sell you the license. They want to sell you a subscription so that they can keep charging you every year for it. So they're not selling you the software. They're not selling you a license anymore. They're selling you a they're renting it to you basically, and you have to keep paying to use it. And I prefer to be able to just buy a copy of it and use it forever. Not just have to keep paying over and over and over. I understand why why the software companies like to do that, because why charge you $100 now when they can charge you $100 this year and $100 next year and $100 a year after that? So, what was my dad's job on the B2? I'm not sure exactly, but he had something to do with the avionics of the machine. He was working on a computer that basically enabled the thing to fly, because apparently the whole flying wing concept is a very difficult thing to keep the airplane in the air, because there's so many like different surface areas that need to be changed in order to deal with keeping the thing airborne. And he once told me, in fact, that if the computer on the B2 ever crashed, so would the plane. So he was a part of that. Like I said, really didn't know a lot when he was doing it. It was a black project, so he couldn't even tell us. We didn't even know what he was doing. It wasn't even until the thing was declassified that we even knew what he was doing. I mean, we knew he was working on some sort of an airplane because that's what he always did. But would I do any travel vlogs in the future? Maybe. It probably wouldn't be the kind of thing Jordan does. Jordan's got that pretty well nailed. But one of the things I could see myself doing, I love going to the national parks. And I could totally see myself visiting a national park and doing that. And I know that I wouldn't get any competition from Jordan, because I know Jordan isn't really into that kind of stuff. I'm more into natural wonders, and he's more into, traveling to different cities and, seeing how people, different people live their lives in different areas. So, and, my parents and I and my sister used to go to national parks on family vacations every year when I was a kid. So I would love to go look at some of that stuff as an adult and see it again. Every year we'd go to a national park. So I've seen a lot of them. I've been to Yellowstone. I've been to Yosemite. I've been to Grand Tetons. I've been to Crater Lake. I've been to the Grand Canyon. All sorts of places. And you know, those places, I think it would be even more interesting for me today, because I'm such a fan of geology, and so many of those places are, formed because of geology, and that would be a big interest to me too. Yeah, I've been to Hawaii a few times. My friend Matt, who I promoted a few days ago on his Island Horizon videos YouTube channel, lives in Hawaii, lives on the Big Island right now, and I visited him a few times when he lives there. I love it. That's another place that would be fun for fun to go and visit, for vlogging, because once again, all those islands, that's all geology too. It'd be fun to explain the history and the origins of those islands and all that. Ever been to Mammoth Cave National Park? No, I don't think I've been to that one. But there was a cave system in New Mexico that we came through, and that we passed when Jordan and I, Carlsbad Caverns, I think is what it was, in New Mexico, that we came by. And my parents and I went there when I was a kid. Yeah, I might visit the Alamo too. That'd be fun thing to see. I like history too, so that would be an interesting place. Yeah, Hawaii is a great place, but ironically, the thing that attracts most people to Hawaii is not what I'm into. I'm into the geology, and that's why I really like the Big Island, because the Big Island is the newest island, and it's mostly just lava flows. And so big chunk of the island, while there is some green areas on the island, big chunks of it is just miles and miles of lava flow. And I really love that kind of stuff. We'd hang out in lava caves and do stuff like that, or lava tubes. Been in a few lava tubes. Even went to Kilauea, the active volcano that's there. That was fascinating to see that. I believe a lot of the places I visited at the time I was there on the volcano are gone. because the eruption a few years ago. Do I have a rock collection? Somewhat, yeah, I do. It's in the storage locker right now, but it's not a really massive one. But I got a kind of few things that I think are cool. Yeah, see, I'm not really. I agree. Diamond Head is a cool volcano, but it's the active nature of it that makes it so interesting. And so I think I have been on Oahu. Yeah, see, the windows just rattled again, and even Bite heard it. And he's going to explore now. But I've been on a couple of the islands, and I just, like I said, I like the Big Island the best just because of all the geology that's there. But I could totally see myself going there. Like I said, the story of the origins of the Hawaiian Islands is so interesting. That would be another Professor Breck episode, I think. I'd love to go to Iceland too. Iceland's a very interesting place because the whole island is literally breaking in half and splitting in half in the two directions. Hi, Kurt. How are you? Yeah, yeah. I would bet you there's a lot of geysers in Iceland. There's a lot of geysers in Yellowstone too. That's what kind of makes that so interesting to me. Now to you too. Yeah, here come the kitty treats. That's the only reason you're here anyway, right? Oops. That's what happens when you lunge at it and end up knocking it out of my hand. Yeah, he's my buddy. Did you go to San Francisco when you lived in California? Yeah, I visited there a couple times. It's kind of an interesting place. I don't know. Not maybe not so much anymore. It's kind of gone downhill in the last few years. But did Austin get the red dust on their cars like in Houston? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I haven't been in Austin in probably a month now. Yeah, Bite's my buddy here. Sacramento is a nice place. My sister lives just outside of Sacramento in Folsom. I think if you get a little bit away from the town, it's probably a little bit better. But one of the things you got to deal with Sacramento is it gets really hot in the summer. So you got to be prepared for that. Hello, Raleigh, North Carolina. Bet you it's nice and cool there, huh? I had to stop and correct myself mid sentence because for some reason I I thought I was thinking North Dakota, but no, not North Dakota, North Dakota, North Carolina. That's a little bit different. It might be cold there too. I hear people saying earlier that it's cold in Tennessee, so Pioneer Saloon. I don't know anything about that, so sounds like it might be a fun place to go have a beer though. Cold last night, 38, 49 now. Okay, that's still pretty cold. Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet you it's cold in Virginia. I mean, it's not like it's not in the middle of the winter or something. Hear all that noise in the background? Yeah, that's they're. You remember a couple months ago we had that fire that took out that shed behind me, and uh, you know torched a car and all that stuff. Well, they finally decided to tear down and replace the carport over that. And so that's what you're hearing going on in the background there, cutting pieces off. They've been working on that for the past couple of days. I was down here trying to take a nap yesterday afternoon, and they were out there banging on that thing with a hammer, and yeah, it just didn't work out too well. So do you have anything to add? No. Yeah, if it isn't the kitty treats, it's the brush that gets them down. I gotta put this thing away though when I'm not here because you'll rub your face on it so much you make yourself bleed, won't you? That's how you do it, isn't it? That's like his favorite thing in the world, though. That and the kitty treats. They had a brush made out of kitty treats, you'd be in kitty heaven. I love the cow print on the cat. Yeah, yeah, he's a cool guy. Oh, I like Jordan, all of Jordan's travel vlogs. Yeah, and the Mexico ones are great. Yeah, his travel vlogs are always a lot of fun. It's a lot easier than having to go visit those places yourself. He always has such interesting places he likes to visit too. That's I think what makes his videos interesting is it's never the same thing. It's not. He does something for a few days and then he goes somewhere else and does something else. This is like his favorite thing in the world here. Once again, he keep letting me do this until I peel the skin off. And I just set the brush down here, and now he's just self-serving here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Jaw again. Jaw's a good boy. Have a lot of fun when he's here, or when I'm there, whichever the case is. Yeah, I think it just depends on the cat. Some cats are just, I've heard, people say that the cats are very finicky about how they'll let you handle him. Bite is the most kind of tolerant thing in the world. He'll play with his feet, you know, grab his tail, rub his belly, whatever. He's good. How's the job hunt? Well, you know that I didn't get that one job I was looking for, but the day after that job kind of fell through, I got another interview which I did yesterday, and I think that one went really well. I have kind of high hopes for that one. Um, Except for maybe the first job I applied for, it probably is the one that I would probably be the best fit for. It'd be a good opportunity. It's a good company, and I think I had a good rapport with the person I interviewed. So we'll see what happens on that. Fingers crossed. But I think one of the things I think I surprised him with some of the stuff I knew because, he would ask me specific questions about the job and say, "Oh yeah, I've done something like that, and that'll work." It's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that." So, I think I had a great interview with him, and hopefully this will be the one. And if it does work out, it'd be a great job too because the particular company runs 24 hours a day, so they operate on 12-hour shifts. And so I'd be working day shift from 7 to 7:30, 7 in the morning to 7:30 at night, and it'd be 3 days on 1 week and 4 days off, and then 4 days on the next week and 3 days off. So that would give me a lot of time for vlogging and stuff like that. And I think I said in one of my videos too, maybe the one that's going up today, that in addition to that, it'll be a lot of good time to buy a house and move into a house and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I hope this works. Like I said, this would be the one that I think would be a really great opportunity for me. So, like I said, I think I had a good rapport. I mean, I got to admit, I think every interview I've had has been a good one, but um, that this one I think is actually a job that I'm probably qualified for and not overqualified. Um, so we'll see what happens. I'm not going to go too much into details. What it is, it's a manufacturing job. It depends on what you mean by manual labor job. Basically, the criteria I have right now is I just don't want to be working outside. I got over that in working at Disney, and I don't want to be doing that anymore. The computer won't come on, is it the monitor that's beeping, or is it your computer that's beeping? Because if it's a computer that's beeping, that's generally not a good thing. It might be something as simple as you lost your memory, at which point you got to replace it, but it could be something more serious too. Patiently waiting for an answer here. No, I haven't heard Scott Michael's podcast about Disney. I really don't listen to podcasts that much, and basically the only real vlogger I watch on any kind of regular basis is Jordan. Oh, I wouldn't write it off as buying as the problem being from Walmart. I mean, the monitor I have right now, I got that from Walmart too. So just because you buy it at Walmart, I mean, if it's a brand name, it's going to be the same brand name. That was something my mom used to say when I was a kid. There was a kind of a thrift store up near where I lived that would sell records. She'd say, no, you don't want to buy a record from this thrift store. You want to get it from a record store. It's like, wow, it's the same record. It's made by the same. It's pressed by the same people. It does. You go to Warner Brothers and they don't say, okay, we're gonna press this album with this quality for this store and a lesser quality for another store. Brand names are brand names, so nothing wrong with paying less to get it. Now, when you put the monitor on, did it stop working immediately? And is that when you started getting the beeps? Or is something else going on. Yeah, I worked at Disney for a while, and I'll admit I don't dish a whole bunch of dirt on them, but I do talk about them periodically in the videos. How's my dad doing? My dad's kind of on a little bit of a low streak right now because he's been kind of fighting taking his medicine, and when that happens, then his ammonia level gets out of control, and once that happens, then he starts he starts becoming lethargic and really out of it. So we're still kind of fighting to get him just to take his medication. Um, I think that is an issue we got to deal with. Yeah, no, you're right, Record Crate, that there is difference between record quality, but generally, if you're going and buying a particular album from, say, the Beatles or something like that, they're not gonna press different quality pressings of the same record. I mean, it's possible that you might get, a higher quality pressing at some point because they're re-releasing a remastered version and putting in a higher quality vinyl. But generally, if you're buying the same album, at a thrift store versus at a record store, it's not going to be a different quality. But you're right. There are pressing facilities that do less quality, lower quality stuff, and but that's usually just a factor of the company themselves. So, Broken Brunette, when you was it when you plugged in the new monitor that the problem started, or is it or has the old monitor or has the monitor worked for a while and now it doesn't? Yeah, but those were from different pressings, record Kate, or record crate. I mean, you're right. They've got the 180-gram records that are better quality, but generally from the same pressing, there isn't much variation. There isn't good quality and bad quality from the same pressing. Yeah, and that's true too. That can definitely happen. I guess the point I'm making is that there isn't a correlation that because you buy it at one store, you're going to get lesser quality records than when you buy it at other stores. Additionally, the story I was telling was from the 70s, and it wasn't quite the audiophile movement with record pressing that there is today. But you're right, the same record pressed at different facilities can have different results, different quality, just based on the settings of the individual press. Yeah, you're right, Robert. That's how Walmart does. Is they buy in mass quantities, and then they can work on a bulk discount. Because there's a lot of companies that would rather sell a million of something to one company than they would to sell a million of something to a million different people. It's just it's more cost benefit to do it one way. Mhm. Yeah, no, I totally hear you, Record Crate. I'm kind of the same way on that. I spent 22 years manufacturing compact discs, so I could totally nerd out on that subject too. Yeah, I was fascinated with CDs really, really early on, so I did that for a very, very long time. I did a vlog on that a while back. I think it was one of my earlier vlogs. I think I called it Adventures in CD Manufacturing. You got to go check that out. It tells a little bit about my time there. Doesn't really go that much into the detail on, how they're made and all that, but and how they work. But yeah, I could probably do that record crate. That'd be fun. I mean, I guess I should have known that somebody with a username record crate's probably gonna have some comments on making records. No, I don't have a juicer. I just do mine at the I just get mine at the store. You remember if you remember early on when I first moved here, I was looking for a perfect white grapefruit juice. Well, yeah, that's what I'm drinking right now is my white grapefruit juice. So I'm very, very happy. That was probably one of the best things about moving to Texas. I could start finding that again. I kind of do steaks medium rare, but I sometimes go, a little on the lower, a little on the more pink side. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. The magnetic strips on the debit cards are the same tech as a cassette player. You're right. Does anyone buy CDs anymore? I do. I am not a huge fan of streaming just because, what happens when the internet goes down? I like having a hard copy of things. That way, even if the internet's down or something like that, I can still, listen to my music, watch my movies, stuff like that. I have a pretty massive DVD collection and an even larger CD collection. Do I have Saltgrass Steakhouse in Waco? No, I don't think I've ever heard of them. Oh yeah, Bites behind me as usual. I'm reluctant to go meow though because I keep having people tell me that their cats or their dogs respond when I do that, and their dogs stop barking. It's still a funny joke though. Do I catalog my DVD? No, I just kind of keep them. They're alphabetized by title. That's the only thing I do there. Do I still play vinyl? No, I own some vinyl. I own some actually rare vinyl, but I don't play it. I don't have a turntable. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. One of the people, I don't know if they're still on here, J-Ro, is creating a Facebook fan page for this channel, and hopefully it'll be going pretty soon. I have my personal one, but I'm keeping my personal one kind of personal because I want to be able to share things with friends and family that I don't definitely want to, going out into the real world, the whole world. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Well, just keep an eye on this channel because J-Ro is going to tell me when they start up the channel, and I'll promote it here and I'll put a link on it or something like that. And we'll see what happens to it. Like I said, I've been kind of hoping somebody at some point would. I didn't really want to do it myself because I don't really have the time to focus on that and running a channel and all that. And I mean, I know Jordan kind of started up his Days with Jordan the Lion channel and ultimately kind of turned it over to other people to let us kind of administer it. But Yeah, I was trying to figure out what Hawk Soa means. So how does that makes more sense? Yeah, it's cool that they have fans now. It still blows me away that I have 2,900 people that are following my channel and on average get 1,000 to 1,500 views per video. That blows me away. I this is one of those things that you don't know a lot because you probably don't see it on because you can't get the info on the channel. But I'm getting very close to the point where I'm going to have had 100 or 500,000 views on my channel. We'll probably hit that in the next week or so because I saw it a couple of days ago. We're like 490,000 views, and that blows me away that many people, that many of my videos have been watched. Yeah, thank you, VNA. Yeah, well, you've been one of my followers from the very beginning, so yeah, I appreciate those of you who keep coming back, and I love those of you that just go in and watch once in a while. It's all good. It means so much that you do follow me and that you do watch me, and I still love reading all your comments. I read them every day. I read every comment. I don't reply to all of them, but I do read each and every one of them. What's my favorite type of vlog to do? Um, I'll tell you the ones that I'm most proud of. I'm most proud of the Jesse Washington one where I talked about that guy that got lynched. Um, I like the JFK trilogy thing that I did. I was very proud of that one. Um, I like the one I did about the showdown in Waco where the journalist was going after the Baylor people and they were shooting at each other in the streets. So I guess I really like the history one. I also like the Dory video that I did a couple days ago, the Doris Miller video about the guy from that the war hero from Waco that was in World War II. We like you back. We really like you. It reminds me of who was it? Sally Field in the Oscars says, "You like me. You really like me." No, The Outsiders was a little bit before my time. I wasn't really into it. You have your morning coffee with my vlogs. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate so much that you guys watch. That means so much to me. Yeah, I'm blown away how many of you watch my videos in the first couple minutes they go live. Because I watch that stuff. I can see the numbers as they're coming in, and I'll usually have 5 or 10 views in the first minute the video goes live. That blows me away that so many of you are out there, waiting at 8 o'clock, Central Time for the video to go live. I don't know if I'd be able to comment too much on what's going to happen on the Oscars because the only movie I've seen of the Oscars is Once in Time in Hollywood, but that was a great movie. Yeah, I've watched some of Adam's videos. I haven't seen him in a while though. Excuse me. Adam's videos are amusing to watch, but it's just like I said. There's so many other things going on. The only videos I'm really watching on any regular basis are Jordan's because I'm spending so much of the time doing my own and just kind of trying to get my life going here, getting a job and all that. That takes a lot of time. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I try hard. I keep worrying that I'm running out of content, but I'm glad when you watch. I'm still baffled sometimes at what it is people watch because there's videos I put up and it's like, okay, that one's going to be a good one, and then it doesn't do very well, and then um, And then I'll do one where I'm just sitting in the chair talking to the camera, and that one just goes to the roof. No, I think he's just visiting. Um, he travels a lot, and I don't even think he's probably even still there anymore because I know when he left here, he was almost a month ahead of his videos, and so I don't even know where he is right now. He might be home. He might be off on some other adventure. So I put you to sleep when you watch me, huh, Jerry? I don't know what I should think about that. It's funny, caffeine has the same effect on me. Oh, hi, Terry. I saw you were doing a little live stream a little earlier. I watched that for a few minutes. Well, it's funny when I'm watching, because I'm always trying to analyze what it is that people like. And it's funny, the videos that don't necessarily get a whole bunch of views, those are the days when my subscriber count goes up. And then the days where I get like tons and tons of views, the subscriber numbers stay very consistent. So, I think what goes on, maybe the videos that aren't necessarily um, the videos that aren't necessarily interesting to all of my regulars, maybe those are the ones that are attracting new viewers. So kind of have to watch out. You kind of play this by ear, do a little of everything because I do want to build the subscriber rates and not just keep preaching to the choir, for lack of a better term. Where's Bite? Bite's right over there, just kind of over there behind the selfie. He heard me see his name now, so he's probably going to come up and visit us, especially now that I'm shaking the kitty treat. He's literally right here, right now. Come on, buddy. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, here he is. Here's the Bitester, the real star of the show. Does Bite play? Bite. I mean, Bite's a kind of an old man now, so he's not quite as active as he used to be. But he's he still likes to wrestle a little bit with Nibble. Yeah, you're really kind of getting close to a thousand there, Terry. How are you doing on like total hours? Are you close to being able to actually monetize? Yeah, well, it was interesting, kind of figuring out where Darwin came from. It all started with me hitting that gas station that one day, and just like I said, at the time, what I tend to do is I look at the area on Street Map in Google, and Street View. And when I looked at it from the one angle, it was, the recent video from a year ago. And when I looked at it from another angle, it was from 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it had the gorilla there, and that was actually made me go and check it out. And that was one of the first things I said to the guy who owns the place. Is like, I was looking at this on Street View a couple of days ago, and saw that there used to be a big gorilla out there. And I asked him if he knew where it went and where it came from, and he said he thought it'd come from that statuary place along I-35, kind of between Waco and Temple. And I said, I've seen that place. I gotta go check that out. And so that was just kind of a spur of the moment thing where I decided to do that day. I'd gotten late in the day, and it's like, it was cold and miserable out there, and it's like, I don't know what to do today. Well, I'll tell you what, what we're gonna do is let's go down to that statuary place, and then I'm just gonna drive around some of the roads that I've never been on, and see what I can see. And there wasn't really anything that kind of attracted my attention, um, except for that place. So Terry has 19,000 views. What we really need to do is find out what her total view time is, because those are the two things. You got to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 total view hours. Well, have I noticed any bike or walking paths around? Yeah, I mean, I've done a few walking paths because I've been down to Cameron Park, and that place is just crisscrossed with all sorts of bike and walking trails. And then I went down to that park just a few days ago, and there were bike trails back there too. That trail I was on a few days ago, that was literally either bike or hiking. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm usually aware of him popping up, but he's in and out all the time, so I don't necessarily acknowledge him. But yeah, I know he's there. I really have no choice but to know because he's constantly purring. So it's like having a motor running behind me. What was it that made me choose Waco? Really, what happened about a year ago when I decided I was going to move. I knew I wanted to move into Texas, and I really literally just looked at a Google satellite view of the state of Texas and realized, I wanted to be on the east side of the state because the east side is more green and the west side is more brown. So I wanted to be on the east side, and I just literally looked at cities in the area that looked like they were big enough to have a good industrial base. And I looked at a bunch of cities, and I came here and visited about a year ago. And I visited all the cities I had looked at, and I just like the vibe in Waco. If I had any problems with people with me filming them, no, no, not really. No one's really had a problem. Occasionally you get there and you can't, and you're told, no filming. And I think specifically like when I went to Silo of Screams the first time. The first time I went as a visitor, and they had a sign out right out in front that said you couldn't do that. But it turns out I ended up meeting the owner, and he invited me back and asked me to to video one of his mazes and make a commercial for him. So I actually did get to do that, and I think one of the reasons he let me do that is because he saw that he saw my video and appreciated the fact that I respected his rules. I probably wouldn't have gotten that rule had I not, had I snuck in and videotaped anyway in there. So what you can do is in the same place that Terry that you go to find out how many total hours. I mean, I'm assuming you're doing this on a computer because I think you have to do this on a computer to do this. Or I think you can download an app called YouTube Studio if you're using like a phone or a tablet or something like that. But if you're in a computer, you just go into YouTube Studio, go to your analytics page, and where it's, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little field that says last 30 days. And what you do is you pull on that tab and go to lifetime. And then one of the fields in there is total view hours. And it'll tell you how many hours you had total. And once you got 4,000 view hours and 1,000 subscribers, then you can monetize. Thanks for stopping by, Nicola. Appreciate that. Yeah, okay, so definitely go into, Terry, go into YouTube Studio, go to the Analytics tab, go to the upper right-hand corner where it says 30 days, pull that down until it says lifetime, and then just kind of look around on that page until you find total view hours, and that'll tell you how many it is. Have I done anything on David Koresh? No, not yet, but I will at some point. There's basically three things that Waco is known for, and I've covered the other two. So, I'll definitely have to do a visit to the Branch Davidian site. I have researched it. I know where it is. I've got some information, but I got to learn a little bit more about it before we can do that. Oh, I'm not going to make the argument that I like clowns or that they make me laugh, but I'm not one of those people that are freaked out by them either. Clowns can be kind of scary too, depending on what they're doing. I mean, I remember when I was doing Silo of Screams, they had a whole clown maze. Now that I'm vlogging, how hard would it be to stop? I don't know. I don't know. I guess it would depend on what happened. If I got a job and they said, "Yeah, we know about the vlogging, you got to stop doing that," then I'd have to do that. But I do enjoy doing it. I've learned so much about my new towns. It's I know more about Waco after living here for 8 months than I did, about the city I lived in, Placentia, which I lived there for 25, 28 years. So that's just how it is. You go out there and you learn things about your town. It just kind of encourages you to learn more. Okay, 1.2 thousand hours. So you got a ways to go on that. Yeah, a good way to do that is to make longer videos. That's one way to do it. And I don't know, Terry, do you leave your live streams up after you're done with them, or do you take them down? Because I find I get good view hours when I leave the live streams up. No, I don't think Beth is doing the adventure birthdays anymore. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the encouragement. I'm so grateful that you guys watch. That means so much to me. Is the annual hours? No, it's basically the only thing you want to do is when it comes to monetizing, you got to get your total view hours up to a certain point, and it doesn't matter how long it takes you as long as you get those, as long as you get the total hours and the total subscribers. Okay, so Terry says she leaves her live streams up. So yeah, that always helps. Then it's just a matter of just waiting until you get to the point where you've hit those two magic numbers. I had an advantage because I had Jordan pulling for me. In fact, it was the day that I hit that number, hit 1,000 subscribers. Um, I just been texting with Jordan, and he said, and I told him, yeah, I'm like 40 or 50 away from 1,000 subscribers, and he said, okay, hold on, I'm going to do a live stream, and he did a live stream. Says Breck needs your help, and within the next 24 hours, I pushed past 1,000 and made it to like 1,800 subscribers in one day. Yeah, I mean, playlists are a good way to do it. That was a piece of advice Jordan gave me too. You're, that was I've gotten all sorts of views from that because I think when you get up to where I am, where I'm pushing pretty close to 300 videos now that are up, if you get new subscribers, they're not really sure where to start, and so if you create the playlists, you can say, hey, maybe I'm interested in this, and let's just play this playlist and see what's on there. And that has done a lot because my views have really gone way up since I started doing that. Yeah, you're right, Fragile Family Tree. My cats didn't hear my voice very often because I'm kind of a quiet person to begin with, and so when I'm talking to the computer a lot, they hear me a lot more now. Well, you just said you're not that far away from 1,000, so you better not faint here. That wouldn't be good. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with BK man, Terry. Go out and do some subjects that are of public interest too, because that does a lot of good. It was Jordan who recommended I do that JFK video. There's an animal that's invaded my house. Yeah, there's a few of them around here. That's just one of them. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Jeff, I did stop using that video card. It turns out I didn't really see enough of a difference with it, and it didn't seem to be working anyway. So I returned it a few days ago, got my money back. The computer's working great now. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, go check out Terry in Circles. Let's push her over 1,000. I pushed my friend Matt up to almost 200. I haven't looked at him since I went live, but a few of us said we were going to go check him out. So yeah, Terry's channel is called Terry in Circles. Just search for that. Yeah, Terry, I'll definitely do that next time I'm on. Like I said, I was just logging on to see what was going on. One of the things I like to do is make sure that Jordan isn't live streaming when I'm going to live stream because then we then I end up not getting as many views and all that because everyone's watching Jordan. But I saw you were on. I just looked in briefly, and like I said, I wanted to look and see what Matt's subscriber count was and see where we went from there. So Yeah, you might be right, Kathy. I mean, Bite's always been pretty sociable. He's always been a good buddy. So what is your number now, Terry? You said you were coming close to 1,000. Looks like this is just going to turn into the hey, everyone, subscribe to my friends' channels today, telethon today. Still under 900. Okay, well that's still doing good. You're pretty close there. Yeah, yeah. It's spelled just like her username on here. 863. Okay, that's really good. I mean, you've gone up quite a ways since I first knew of you. I haven't watched your channel, Gamer Jack, so I don't know. I'm not just gonna shout out to anyone, who says, "Hey, give me a shout out." I'd have to look at your channel and see if there's anything there that I think my audience would be interested in. Thanks, Dwayne Johnson. I appreciate that. It means so much to me when you guys come back and watch every day, and I love reading your comments and on that. I'll check out your channel, see if it's something I'm interested in, Gamer Jack. But at this point, like I said, anyone could come on here and says, "Hey, give me a shout out and recommend my channel." But if I do that, if I do that too much, then what ends up happening is I don't have any credibility if I'm just saying, "Hey, yeah, go check out this guy. Hey, check out that guy." But I'll look at it and see if it's anything that I think is interesting, and we'll see where we go with that. Yeah, I've noticed that too, Kathy. I've had female cats and male cats, and the male ones always seem to be a little bit more affectionate. The last cat I had was a male too, and he was very affectionate also. And the one I had before that was a cat that I adopted from my friend Matt, because when he moved to Hawaii the first time, he couldn't take their cat with him, so I adopted Johnny Cat, and Johnny Cat spent the rest of her life with me. Yeah, we're helping Terry creep up a little bit. 865, that's cool. I'm very interested in seeing what Matt's subscriber numbers are, because he was 191 before I started this, and maybe he got a little bit higher now. Hey, Elvis is in the house. Yeah, it's just yeah, VNA. It's just unsweetened grapefruit juice. It's the HEB store brand. I've seen it in every HEB I've been in, so it must be something that's everywhere. Yeah, I would do a meetup video. We've tried a couple times to do things, but I'm just not big enough yet that there's enough people that would be able to come. So I tried doing one when I did Silo Screams one night, and yeah, it just nobody could make it. So I don't know. If there was something going on, and it seemed to me that enough people would come and do it. Even if one person would come and do it, I would probably go and meet just one person, but hasn't happened yet. I would love to do it. It'd be fun to do a meetup. I love the HEB ice cream. I don't know if I've tried their chocolate chip, but I've had a few of the HEB ice cream. I do like ice cream. In fact, I went and bought some just last night. I was in the mood for ice cream. Yeah, see, that's the problem I have is there's a lot of people. It's too far away to go. North Carolina, absolutely. That'd be one heck of a trip to come to Texas. But both VNA and Terry live semi close by. Yeah, Maine, that's another long drive. Yeah, I don't know how much Jordan's into high five. I don't really don't know that much about him. So yeah, that might almost be worth a trip to Florida, Jeff, just to see that. Oh, you're further away than I thought you were, Terry. I thought you were like within an hour. But I watched kittens being born. Now I haven't, which is really ironic because I worked at a vet for um, a couple of years, and but yeah, I never got a chance to see that happen. I mean, I guess I've seen video of it, but not being live. Yeah, see, that's the problem with Texas. Even if you are in Texas, you could be hours and hours away because Texas is a big place. I mean, I know when we drove out here, it took 2 days to get from the New Mexico Texas border to here. Granted, we were doing a lot of zipping around and looking at stuff and vlogging on the way through, but still, didn't know there was a Grapevine, Texas. I've been to the Grapevine in California. 3 hours, 5 minutes. That would be quite a drive. Although it's funny, the number of times, it used to be about a 2 hour drive when I would drive to San Diego from my house in California, and that always seemed like such a long time. But now I kind of do that regularly when I go to Dallas or something like that, and it just doesn't seem that bad. Of course, it is a little bit different here in Texas because the speed limits are a little faster, so you can get somewhere. A lot the road from the I-35 highway from Waco to Dallas, most of that is 75 miles an hour, so you can go pretty quick. Oh, Elvis is 110 miles. That isn't too far. Hey, meet up at Moroso Pizza. That would be a good idea. Yeah, that was a good place. Yeah, Jordan's a big guy. I think that's a thing that a lot of people don't realize about him. Jordan's 6'4". Well, 6'3", I think. 6'3", 6'4", something like that. And it's funny because when we're both standing next to each other, we look about the same height, and so you just think we're both normal height, but we're both kind of freakishly tall. Oh, Grapevine is you're in Chicago. Okay, okay. Sorry about that. Any desire to visit Mexico? You know, I would love to visit some of the pyramids in Mexico. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not really into the cities that much. That's more Jordan's thing. I'm more into like either history or nature, and so things like that would be very interesting. Like going to visit the pyramids in Mexico, that would be interesting. I'd be into that more than like going to visit the cities or anything like that. That's just me. Grapevine is 110 to Waco. Okay, well, yeah, yeah, I saw him pop in. He appears in, he's in and out, so there's no way I can't hear him because his motor's running. He's a purr machine. Yeah, it'd be interesting to visit the volcanoes in Mexico. There's a lot of them there. I saw Blue Bunny ice cream last night when I was in the store looking for ice cream. See, now he's just over here. He knows where the brush and the kitty treats are. What is on my shirt? This is my Jack Skellington T-shirt. So picture Jack Skellington's head where mine is. Yeah, it's like his second favorite thing in the world is a brush. That seems to be the life of a cat, Jennifer. They're either purring or sleeping or yeah, yelling at you to feed them. No, I don't think that's anything about being related to a particular cat. I think that's just the way most cats are, right? That's how you are, isn't it? Purring, sleeping, or asking to be fed. Come on, look at your fans. They want to see you. See, that's you right there. Yes, it is. They want to see you. I could totally see Matt doing a live stream at some point. I don't know. It would be probably something different from this because one of the things you run into is a lot of those obscure beaches in Hawaii don't have really good internet out there, so you wouldn't be able to do a live stream from the beach, I think. But he might do something like that. Maybe I'll bring it up to him. Well, I hope you feel better, Nancy. Yeah, 264 miles. Okay, that would be quite a trip. That'd be a long journey to get here. When you die, you want to be reincarnated as my cat. There are still six-toed cats at Hemingway's house. All right. Her husband trained your cat that he has to eat his food before he gets a treat. Yeah, that's how it is. A lot of people say cats are finicky eaters, but you know what? I just kind of depend on their tummy, and eventually, they're going to eat what I'm going to feed them. And if they don't eat, then if they don't like it, if they're going to be finicky, they don't get to eat. And they just figure it out. And you look at these guys. He hasn't missed any meals. Look at that belly. Look at that belly. Well, I've done a couple of the house hunting vlogs so far, and I've seen a few of them that have potential. So, like I said, none of those that I've looked at so far are really ones that, I figure I'm going to move into at any point. It's more just an issue of just kind of finding out what's out there and what they cost and that kind of stuff. Because the real search will start once I get a job, and hopefully that'll be real soon. I've tried rationing the cats food, and that doesn't even make them lose weight. They just I don't know. You potty trained your cat what to actually use a toilet. I guess I've heard of cats doing that. All right, good night, Terry. I'll see you next time. Like I said, we'll do another one of these next weekend, and we'll see what happens. It's supposed to be raining next weekend, maybe, so that'd be kind of cool. Unless we have like a lightning strike or something like that and knocks out the internet in the middle, that'd be kind of interesting. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad everyone's looking up Matt's channel. That means a lot to me, because Matt's been a friend for forever, and he told me he was doing this, and I said, you know what? I know who would love this. A lot of my viewers would love this, and so it means a lot to me that you guys went over there and subscribed. And pushed him from 6 to almost 200 subscribers. I don't know. He may be at 200 now. He was at 191 when I started this up. And yeah, it was kind of fun tracking down Darwin's birthplace, but there's no doubt that that's where he came from. None whatsoever. Because we saw several Darwins at that place, and it's definitely the same gorilla. So yeah, very very cool to find that. And like I said, I've driven by that place a whole bunch of times, so it was really surprising that um, that's where he came from. But when the guy at that restored gas station and I were talking about it, he said that he thought he came from that place on I-35. I said, oh, I know exactly where you're talking about. I passed that thing a bunch of times. Yeah, yeah. The one, the Darwin in the pajamas was pretty funny. He's 193 now. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I sent him a post this morning. I said, yeah, you'll be at 200 in a day or so. Maybe more than that. Maybe sooner than that. Thanks, Deborah. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is something I got from when I worked at Disney. They have a lot of cool stuff that you can get that's like cast member only stuff, or sometimes it's even like stuff that's been in the stores that have been kind of discontinued or stuff like that. If I ever need Orba, if I hit pizza in Texas, yeah, many times. I've hit several pizza places on my restaurant vlogs. You'll have to check those out. Moroso pizza was really good. Um, Paparolo's pizza was very good. There was a 900 degrees pizza that was really good, and others too. Good night, Kathy. Yeah, I'm at a little over 2 hours now, so I'm gonna probably wrap it up here pretty quick too. How's my mom? My mom's doing her thing. In fact, I got to call her back right when uh, right when I started up this live stream. She called, and so I pushed her to voicemail. So I'll call her when I get done here and see how we're doing. Yeah, exactly. When I get to the point where I need to decorate my yard, I know where to go. Good night, John. Yeah, I think I'm going to probably pull the plug on this too. So I think that's all I have for tonight. We are about a little bit more than 4 hours from my next video going up. And so I hope you'll check that out. If you haven't had a chance yet, go check out my friend Matt's new video channel. It's called uh, Island Horizon Videos. And if you just type in Island Horizon Videos, you'll find it. It's really cool. Kind of just seascapes from the big island of Hawaii, and it's very calming, very relaxing. You should check it out. So anyway, I think that's all I have for tonight. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.